You notice it the moment you win. You share good news. The room goes quiet. No congratulations, no questions, no warmth. The same people who once spoke freely now hesitate, delay, or disappear. And you tell yourself stories to stay polite. They are busy, they forgot, they did not see it. But deep down, you already know the truth. Silence after your success is not neutral. It is information. And today, you are going to understand exactly what it means, why it happens, and what to do next without shrinking, apologizing, or burning bridges. Stay with me. This changes how you see people forever. Silence is never empty. People talk when they feel aligned with you. They speak when your progress supports their self-image. They celebrate when your growth does not threaten their identity. Stoic thinkers understood this long before modern psychology named it. Epictetus warned that most people measure themselves not by virtue, but by comparison. Your success becomes a mirror, and many do not like what they see. Silence after your win is rarely about you doing something wrong. It is about them facing something they avoid, their unmet goals, their stalled progress, their quiet regret. Psychology confirms this. Envy often shows up as withdrawal, not attack. Most jealous people do not confront you. They retreat. They withhold affirmation. They reduce contact. Silence becomes their defense. Ask yourself this: if someone truly felt joy for you, would silence be their response? Why success exposes people. Success changes status. Even small wins do this. You do not need a mansion or fame. A promotion is enough. A disciplined habit is enough. A calmer mindset is enough. Stoicism teaches that people cling to roles: the smart one, the struggling one, the advisor, the leader. When you improve, you disrupt the unspoken hierarchy. Someone who felt ahead of you now feels challenged. Someone who felt equal now feels behind. Psychologists call this self-evaluation threat. Your progress forces them to re-evaluate themselves. Instead of rising with you, many protect their ego by distancing. This is why silence often appears suddenly, not before your growth, not during your struggle, only after your results become visible. Your success did not create their envy, it revealed it. The difference between private support and public silence. Some people claim support in private but stay silent in public. They send a short message. They avoid acknowledging you openly. This matters. Public recognition costs them something. It signals alignment. It admits your advancement. Stoics believed character shows under pressure, and success creates pressure in relationships. If someone supports you only when no one is watching, ask why. What are they protecting? Their image, their status, their pride. True allies do not compete with your growth. They amplify it. Silence is often a compromise. They do not want to oppose you openly, but they cannot bring themselves to endorse you either. That middle ground tells you everything. How envy hides behind politeness. Envy rarely looks hostile. It looks reasonable. Delayed replies, short responses, changed tone. Psychology shows that envy often disguises itself as indifference. Indifference feels safer than bitterness. It allows them to avoid guilt. Stoics warned against mistaking manners for virtue. Someone can be polite and still resentful. Someone can smile and still hope you slow down. Watch behavior, not words. Who stops asking questions about your work? Who changes the subject when you share progress? Who praises you once and never again? Silence is a strategy. It reduces your momentum without confrontation. Why they supported you before but not now. People support dreams. They struggle with results. When you were planning, they felt safe. Plans cost nothing. Ideas threaten no one. Once you execute, you cross a line. Now it is real. Now it counts. Stoicism emphasizes action over talk, and action separates people. Many liked the version of you that needed encouragement. They feel uneasy with the version of you that proves consistency. Your growth removes excuses they rely on, and silence becomes their way to restore comfort. The inner conflict they will never admit. Most jealous people feel shame about their envy. They know it is not admirable. They suppress it. Psychologists describe this as cognitive dissonance. They want to see themselves as good, yet your success triggers resentment, so they avoid engagement. Silence resolves the tension. Stoics would say this reflects a lack of inner order. A person at peace celebrates excellence in others. A person at war with themselves resents it. You are not witnessing malice. You are witnessing disorder. This realization protects you from bitterness. Why you should not confront them, and why silence is the answer. Your instinct wants clarity. You want to ask the question they refuse to answer. Why did you disappear when things went well for me? That instinct is human, but it is also dangerous. Stoicism teaches restraint before reaction. Marcus Aurelius warned that not every impulse deserves expression, especially when ego is involved. Confrontation feels strong, it feels direct, but in cases of envy, it rarely produces truth. Psychology explains why. Envy threatens a person's self-image. When confronted, the mind protects itself. They deny, they rationalize, they rewrite the story. They will not say, "Your success makes me feel small." They will say, "I've been busy. I didn't think it was a big deal. I assumed you didn't need validation." You leave the conversation doubting yourself instead of understanding them. Silence, on the other hand, reveals patterns. Patterns never lie. The Stoics believed wisdom comes from observation, not interrogation. Watch who leans in, watch who leans away. People tell you everything without saying a word. The psychology of withdrawal, why they step back instead of attack. Not all envy is aggressive. Most envy is passive. Psychology calls this avoidant coping. When someone feels inferior but lacks the confidence to compete, they retreat. They stop engaging, they stop asking, they stop investing. This withdrawal protects their ego. It allows them to avoid direct comparison with you. Stoic philosophy anticipated this centuries ago. Epictetus noted that people flee situations that remind them of their own neglect of discipline. Your progress highlights their inaction. Silence is easier than effort. Distance is easier than growth. This is not cruelty, it is weakness. Understanding this keeps you from taking it personally. Why shrinking yourself makes it worse. Many people respond to silence by softening their presence. They share less, they downplay wins, they apologize for progress. This feels considerate, it feels mature. It is neither. Psychology is clear. When you reduce yourself to make others comfortable, you reinforce the dynamic that caused the silence in the first place. You teach them that your success is negotiable. You train them to expect accommodation. Stoicism rejects this completely. Self-respect is non-negotiable. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily not to live as if he needed applause. You are not obligated to manage other people's discomfort. Do not exaggerate your wins. Do not hide them either. Let them exist plainly. Let the truth stand without commentary. That neutrality is power. The invisible test your success creates. Every win tests relationships, not because success corrupts you, because it reveals alignment. Psychology shows that relationships thrive on perceived equality. When that balance shifts, the relationship must adapt or dissolve. Some people adjust upward. They get inspired. They learn. They grow. Others resist. They withdraw. They criticize silently. They disengage. Stoics accepted this as natural law. Not everyone walks the same path, and not everyone can walk beside you forever. This is not betrayal. It is divergence. Silence is simply the signal. How strong people reduce sharing. Without bitterness, one of the most misunderstood Stoic practices is selective disclosure. Stoics were not secretive out of fear. They were private out of wisdom. You do not owe everyone access to your progress. Psychology supports this. Oversharing with unsupportive people increases stress and self-doubt. It drains momentum. Strong people notice who reacts well to growth and who does not. They adjust accordingly, not with announcements, not with ultimatums, quietly. You keep conversations light. You reserve depth for those who reciprocate encouragement. This is not punishment. It is calibration. The moment you stop explaining yourself, there is a turning point in personal growth. It happens when you stop explaining your decisions, stop justifying your ambition, stop translating your discipline into language others can accept. Stoicism calls this inner independence. Psychology calls it self-anchoring. Your sense of worth moves inward. Approval becomes optional. When that shift happens, silence loses its sting. It no longer feels like rejection. It feels like confirmation. You realize you have crossed into a different phase of life. Why envy is a sign you are moving correctly. This is uncomfortable to hear, but it is true. Envy does not chase stagnation, it follows momentum. If everyone feels comfortable around you, ask why. Comfort often means familiarity. Familiarity means no disruption. Stoics did not aim to be liked. They aimed to be aligned with reason and virtue. Your growth creates friction because it demands accountability from others. Silence means you are no longer easy to categorize. You have become evidence. That unsettles people. How to keep your heart clean while others withdraw. Resentment is the real danger here. Stoicism warns against it repeatedly. Resentment binds you emotionally to the very people you should outgrow. Psychology agrees. Bitterness prolongs attachment. You do not need to judge them. You do not need to cut them off dramatically. You simply continue. Wish them well silently. Keep your standards intact. Protect your rhythm. Detachment is not coldness, it is clarity. The final shift, from needing support to being self-sustaining. At some point, external encouragement becomes unnecessary. You build internal confirmation. Your habits validate you. Your consistency reassures you. This is Stoic freedom. You stop asking, do they see me? You start asking, am I living correctly? When that question guides you, silence loses all power. Final truth. Let silence sort the room. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your growth. Some people were meant for the early chapters only. Your job is not to drag them forward. Your job is to walk your path with integrity. Silence after your success is not punishment. It is information. Use it. Move forward steady. unapologetic, unannounced. The ones who belong will find you again. The rest were never meant to keep up. If this spoke to you, do not scroll past it. You are not imagining what you are seeing. Silence after success is real, and learning how to move through it without shrinking changes your life. This channel is for people who choose discipline over approval, for people who think deeply, move deliberately, and refuse to be controlled by other people's reactions. Subscribe now if you want clarity instead of confusion. Subscribe if you are done explaining yourself. Subscribe if you are building something quietly and paying attention to who disappears. More videos like this are coming, sharper, deeper, uncomfortable in the right way. Stay, grow. Let silence keep sorting the room.